Hi everybody, Sensei Chris from Total Urban Combat Dojo. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to do a back kick. Now, back kick is probably one of the more difficult kicks to get your head around because there's a turning motion in it, and also you're changing feet, or you're changing your balance from foot to foot. So we're going to practice it. We're going to break it down a little bit. Practice with our stepping routine, up and down 5 times, and then what we'll do is we'll bring the bag in and demonstrate how to use the kick when you're against somebody holding a bag, or when you're sparring or something like that. So again, the back kick is really delivered somewhere in this area, okay, or somewhere lower down. I mean, you can get sort of chest height, but the reality is that, again, the higher you lift the leg, the more flexible you need to be, but also the quicker you need to be, because it's an easy kick to catch if it's delivered slowly. So bear that in mind. So first things first, there's a couple of different ways to do this kick. And the first way we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about just sliding our foot across to the side. So if I bring the camera angle down slightly so that you can see more of my feet. So what we're going to do, okay, if you look at where I am now, I've got my left leg forward and I'm in a forward stance. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this leg across my centre line to the other side. Okay, now at this point here, weight changes onto that front leg a little bit, and as I change the weight, I'm going to pivot around so that my posture is turned 180. Now at this point here, I look over my shoulder so that I can see the target, and that's really important because if I can't see the target, I can just kick in. So at this point here, my weight pitches up onto this front leg here, okay? My rear leg now, but the front leg that was at the front, okay? Leg lifts up, kick, kicks out. Okay, so watch that again all in one go. Okay, so here I am with my left leg forward, okay? Slide across, pivot, kick. Okay, so watch once again. Slide across, turn, kick. So what I want you to do first is I want you to practice just doing that movement. So again, slide across, pivot, kick. We got it? So do 5 or 10 on each leg, have a little go, feel the movement, the twist, the turn, and the kick. Practice that, 5 or 10 on each leg, go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try, now that we've got the kick working on each leg, we're going to try doing the kick and bringing our posture back to the front. So an example of that would be, I'm facing the camera, okay, so I imagine that's the bad guy that way, okay, I slide across, I pivot, I do my kick, okay, and then I drop forwards. So if you look, the leg that's doing the kick stays out, drops forwards, and I pivot. Okay, so let's do that in sort of quick time. So here I am, okay, slide to the side, twist, kick, and back to the front. Slide to the side, twist, kick, and back to the front. So there's a lot of work that's being done by the hips to readjust your position so you're facing back to the attacker. Well, that's important, isn't it? Because there's no point in me being here and going, oh, I'm going to have a fight, I do this and go, oh, and end up that way, because I just get hit in the back of the head. So think about your posture. So this time, you're going to do, again, 5 kicks or 10 kicks on each leg, and all you're going to do is go, okay, so this is what Sensei said, slide across, twist, kick, drop the leg. Slide across, twist, kick, drop the leg, and readjust. So you should always be facing forwards. So if it works for you, you can get a piece of paper and draw a head on it so that you know that there's somebody facing you this way. And then you've got to try and make sure that your posture readjusts to get to this position so you're facing them all the time. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do our stepping pattern, our 5 steps up and our 5 steps down, using that kick. The shot's quite narrow, so I'll probably only get 3 in, but what we'll do is we'll try and make sure that you can see my feet. So I'll bring it down slightly. Okay, and I'll do 3, possibly 5 going that way, and then I'll turn around and do the same coming the other way. So here I am on the edge of the shot. Okay, left leg's forward, hands are up. I slide the front leg across, turn, kick, and place down, reverse. Still facing in the direction of our attacker, slide across, turn, kick, and place down. Slide across, turn, kick, and place down again. I get to there, I do my 5 and turn, same thing again from here, slide across, turn, kick, and place down. Slide across, turn, look at the attacker, over your shoulder where you're going to kick, kick, and turn. Slide across, turn, kick, and adjust. Everybody got that? Good, go try it. Okay, so I've got my training aid here. Okay, it's a good, reasonably solid kick bag or punch bag, and we're going to use this to demonstrate the kick. So, when you're practicing your kick, obviously you're kicking into air, so you don't feel any resistance. So let's talk about that for a minute. When you've got something that you can hit that has some resistance, it's going to change the dynamic of your movement. So the first thing to say is, when you kick back with the back kick, very similar to the side kick, you're kicking with your heel, okay? The heel is the thing that's sort of driving backwards. It's not the side of your foot. So make sure your heel is driving backwards. The second thing is, the object is to try and get your leg straight. You're pushing back, so you want it to extend out and push the person or the bag that way. So it's important to try and get your leg straight. And that will all depend on how you gauge this distance. So when you're training with a training age, this thing called distance, sometimes called your mei in Japanese, your distance, is something that takes some time to practice. So a lot of the time you'll see people doing this kick and they'll go, turn, and they're out of range. That's because you've got your distance wrong. The way to gauge this is to imagine how tall you are and do that roughly from where the bag is. So at that point there, take a step forwards, okay, and you'll be in good range so that when you do the slide and you'll turn, you'll kick the bag. So it's important to get that distance right, otherwise your kick won't feel good, it won't feel solid, but also, it's also, as we've said, important to make sure that when you turn, you look over your shoulder so that you can see the target and kick the target. So if you have a training aid or have a kick shield or somebody willing to hold it, notice I use the term willing, okay, willing to hold it, that's how you're going to practice it. Okay, you're going to practice, you're going to stand, you're going to do your slide across, your turn, look over the shoulder, chamber your kick, push back, okay, and then drop forward again so that you're back facing your pad. Does that make sense? Good. Go try it. So last but not least, I want to talk about the delivery of the kick. So it's very unusual for somebody facing a person to turn their back to the person to do a kick. Why would you do that? Okay, maybe if you're mad, you might do that, but or if they're a dummy and they're just standing there. But the reality is, if you turn and move away, the chances are they're going to come forwards and hit you in the back. So this is a kick that's delivered when the person is moving, okay? But also, it's a lot of the time it's delivered post another kick. So an example of that would be, I've tried to front kick him, he's moved away, so I can turn, and then I can kick him, or I've been here and I've tried to round kick him, and he's moved away, and because my posture is turning this way, short swivel round and turn, looking over my shoulder, I can use the back kick. So it's delivered most of the time, or as far as I am concerned, it's delivered after maybe another, you've attempted another strike or another kicking movement. Okay, so your adversary has moved away, or the distance isn't right, and what you're doing is, because your posture has turned, okay, rather than turning back to face him and getting hit, okay, you're already here, turn and kick the back. So it's quite a speedy thing to use, and to generate that power, you can start the delivery of the kick in a slightly different way. So once you've got used to this sliding across and turning and then kicking, what you can then do is you can then generate a little bit more speed by, instead of having the kick or the leg at the front to begin with and sliding across, you can take the leg back, and the slide is also going to be a step and then a. So that's going to generate you a lot more power, and what it also does, it also gives you the opportunity to practice closing this distance. So if you want to try that, I suggest standing a little bit further away from your target, stepping in, but as you step in, don't step straight. Step in almost like a crescent. So you're going to step and turn slightly, twist, and kick up. So this is very much like, I'm here, and I tried to kick him, he's moved out of the way, I turn, and I get to kick the back backwards. Does that make sense? So it will take time, it will take practice, because again, you are rotating, you are turning the body, and then you are standing on one leg. So that takes some skill and some practice to do, but once you've done maybe a couple of hundred, this will be in your brain and you'll be okay with it. So, go practice, let's see some kicks.